Hey, Patty. All right, so I'm going to be trying something new here. Screen recording on my iPhone. I think it's going to look pretty cool. All right. So, uh, so during the recovery, I think this is where the fingers we were talking about using fingers. I think I wanted the index and pinky finger to be pointing straight ahead, but that's all right. Let's just watch this and look for a few things if we can, okay? So, so if I start with coaching from the blade and what the blade is doing, blade depth isn't historically too bad, but what I'm seeing is this hesitancy. So see if you can see this. The blade kind of stalls and then comes back, and it takes a while for that blade to get into the water. Let's try this again. And I'd like to see a little bit more leverage going into the handle, so that inside arm is pretty rigid and stiff, and you're having to the knees kind of splay. Try to zoom in on this a little bit better. The knees splay, and the blade kind of hesitates going into the water. And see that shoulder inversion? So right at the catch, you're kind of working yourself around, and the blade is taking a long time to get in, and then it is kind of rowing in. And then at the release, let's look at the release here. There's that elbow driving down, and you're kind of yanking the whole body back. Now that one wasn't too bad, but the outside elbow, I'd like to see that. And really, you don't have the hand with that outside hand. You barely got any pressure with that left hand getting the blade into the water. We need more hand out there over the top of the handle. Let's look at this drill, and this was in an email, so hopefully you've already looked at this drill.
We worked on skying and digging today.
And see if we can.
That happens is that we have a drop and then a lift. So we talked
May not
about
be
that.
able to hear.
One of the things that you can work on if you can be in a sweep simulated environment.
This is in an email that I sent out.
If you've got a gamut,
But she's talking about, you can listen to her voice in the email, but you can pick it up a little bit more. But by the crossover arm drill, see that inversion? That's what you're doing right there. And kind of leaning away. And we really want that chin more over the inside knee. So she's rowing on the same side you were. So this should be, she's rowing on port side. So you should be able to see, and I'm kind of moving this forward. She talks about that inside wrist being, that right hand wrist being rigid, and that arm being rigid, and the shoulder inversion. And that's exactly what we see that you're doing, where the right shoulder is high, the left shoulder's low, and the blade kind of gets rowed in and misses some water. So what she says is to take away this idea, and then notice she's sitting here. Looks what happens when she crosses over her arm, and now that elbow on that inside hand is kind of broken down, and she can't be real rigid. See how she kind of taps that? You can't be real rigid and kind of softens that that inside arm. And now notice her shoulders are on parallel on the same plane as the handle. And as she comes into the catch, her knees aren't falling outside, outside the boat, and her chin is more over the inside knee. Her chin is more over that right knee. And she's talking about not rolling around and kind of getting stuck there. Notice that outside elbow. And notice how she brings that handle. Her elbow is on plane with the handle right here. So then all she's got to do is just slide that hand back out to the end. So I would recommend, as we do some more sweep rowing, that you're rowing like this rather than this last second lunge and plunge. That right hand, the crossover drill, that right leg is blocking the body from falling any further, and that chin is over that right knee. And then that elbow's on plane, and watch when she slides that hand back out, that elbow isn't tucked in by her side, it's out to the side. And now when she goes to tap down, the elbow is, she's pivoting from that left elbow, and the hand is nice and relaxed and coming through. And notice how she kept that same shape even though she got rid of the crossover. So, and she's talking about that shoulder and not falling through. But notice, just as soon as she got into this crossover, boom, the body was a little bit more upright, ready to take a heavy catch. And she's suspending from that outside arm, and that chin is over that inside knee. And then she comes all the way through with some good force. So let's see. Let's come back to yours. So we'll watch this again. And you can kind of see we lunge and then we lift. And this doesn't look like the stuff we've been working on as far as the erg. I encourage you to, when we start rowing at the beginning of a practice, you can do this drill on your own, the crossover arm drill. You can see that blade is not really firmly locking in there. Let's watch that one more time. And you can see, in that last frame, you can kind of see carries. So look at how she's got some backsplash on there and the speed of which it goes in. She missed a little bit of water on that one. But it disappears kind of quickly. Yours is, you're already halfway through the drive. Let's see if I can zoom that in. And so that outside hand, all four of those fingers should be on there. The outside hand, we've got the whole hand on there. The inside hand, we wanted to be hanging on with the pinky and the ring finger, so I think you got those inverted. So here's the last second bit of trying to get some length. And now look how far the shins have moved and the blade has been set in the water. And then it rows deep. So we kind of have a high handle, and then it pulls down to the waist. And then we can see that one more time here. So see how it rows in? I can see the blade swatting air coming back to me. There's no backsplash. And there's a lean away at the release as well. Their whole body kind of leans away from the oarlock at the last little bit. And I think that's because that elbow is kind of stuck out there. So I don't know, maybe we also look at rowing on starboard side as well, because I don't know, the way that you're rowing, it almost looks like a starboard side rower who had to convert to port side because you're leaning so much into into starboard side. So something to process. We can talk more in the future. So I'm going to cut this out.